OALabs Live, you're on the air. Yo, Foreskin, what's going on? Mic works.
Dude, he's obviously not called Foreskin.
I'm Forsaken, but yeah, the S was taken when I got my name. So,
Okay.
But
Forsaken.
yeah, it's alright. I wanted to say hi to my family now.
Oh no.
No, just kidding. I actually had a question. I work in offensive security, and we built our own malware. And I was kind of curious on your take on all of that and how to protect it, and like, in what sense is it ethical to build your own malware, even if it's just for quote unquote good purposes? So I kind of wanted to talk about that.
Sure, yeah. I honestly, I don't really care. I know there's like a lot of debate about this.
I have a counter question.
Let's go.
Because this is cool for me because finally I get I have observed this conversation from the outside, and there's some strong opinions, some very strong opinions about this. And I don't have strong opinions, but I have some questions.
Okay.
And so
questions.
Why would you write it's not I'm not how do I say this? I'm genuinely curious. Why would you not use an existing piece of
They suck.
Cobalt Strike or whatever.
Cobalt Strike absolutely sucks for detectability. It's so detectable, and most of the time we get paid to actually show you can get in there despite having antivirus and malware scans. And Cobalt Strike is hugely outdated, used by a lot of people.
Yeah, sure, makes sense.
Often catched, and and we just dislike everything JavaScript and Java.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean that, but I mean besides sensibilities in terms of, I'm sure there's some red team framework out there that would satisfy your requirements in terms of programming language and design and architecture. We
built it all. We built it all ourselves. I don't know if you can hear me correctly, but
we can hear you very well.
I'm getting distracted by the blinking on the screen. I should close the stream. The thing mainly is we looked at other frameworks, and one of the things is we have the guy that mainly does the design of the malware, and he's really into game hacking and stuff and bypassing anti-cheat things. Okay. And in the end, it's always you're reliant upon a third party that doesn't fix things in time or makes it so it's incompatible with your actual, your exploits or whatever. And whatever you have, and we sell it in the form of a product as well.
No, I think the answer is you sell it.
Yeah, we sell it in the form of a product. Yeah, well, we sell it in the sense we have a product that automatically scans your network and tries to find an exploit chain to the AD admin most of the time, or whatever goal you have, but most of the time it's AD admin. And it uses our custom exploits and our custom CNC for that, because everything else is detected, and we can scale up the detectability and scale it down. So if we want to check the maturity level of a target, we can make it very detectable. And if they don't detect it, if it's really detectable, then there's not much of a point in having a really undetectable exploit or framework. And then we first try to get them to fix the more detectable stuff and work slowly towards a better one. But there's not really a framework out there that allows for you to do this with every malware vendor on board, like putting in a setting that just doesn't detect your certain signature for a while, and then you just upscale it because that would sort of defeat the purpose. But a lot of people don't like it that we write malware, and I understand.
I find it super difficult to have a moral opinion on this matter, because clearly I see why people do it, and clearly I see why people hate it. I can understand
both sides. Both sides kind of make sense. This doesn't make for good radio. People
no, it doesn't.
To their chairs to hear what some bald Canadian has to say about malware, but malware writing or whatever. But yeah, I think it's probably honestly, I don't know too much about red teaming, but I do know that that pretty much all those frameworks that exist are pretty easy to SIG, and they're really targeted by a lot of EDR vendors now. So basically it's if you're an EDR vendor and you can't detect like Cobalt Strike, what are you doing with your life, right? So like that's kind of the mentality. So if you are doing red teaming, it almost seems like you're being forced into having to use sort of custom tooling. And I think that makes perfect sense. I can see that for sure. The question becomes like when you actually start reselling that. That's why I kind of perked up when you said that you're selling it. And like I do.
Well, as a service, right? So it's a service we provide.
Right. I mean, that's a little different. If you're selling like say the builder and the binary, like that type of model, the Cobalt Strike model, or if you're doing like the GitHub where it's like it's all open source and you can build your own that kind of thing.
Yeah,
like
no, as a service, I would say that's different.
It's different. Yeah.
We just deploy the binary on the systems because it's mostly like it's not meant for fellow hackers, let's say. It's really meant for our customers to show that, even despite all these EDR things, we can still get code execution or whatever.
Right, yeah. I mean, honestly, I can't really fault that. But yeah.
Also,
go ahead.
Yeah, from a practical perspective, I would like to add that I have been analyzing malware that is being used in the wild for a long time now, and among this malware is a lot of red team malware. And to be very honest, it is always so glaringly obvious when something is a red team exercise, especially when it's a custom written red that
agree.
I don't even mind. I don't like, to me personally, just I don't even care. I can, like, within minutes I can tell, okay, it's a red team exercise. And then what usually happens is I tell whoever is communicating with me on the client side that this is highly likely a red team exercise, or like I give them some kind of intelligence assessment that I think it's a red team exercise, and they rigorously, like they absolutely adamantly deny that any kind of red team exercising is going on. And then most of the time of this investigation is spent like going back and forth between us and them, us saying it's certainly a red team exercise, they saying it can't be, it's impossible. And then after days and days and days, they finally say, oh yeah, it was a red team exercise.
How would you do that? Because like,
how would I do what?
Well, detect if it's a red team exercise. It's just less sophisticated, or it just doesn't encrypt anything.
Okay, no. It is sophistication is a very complex. Like, sophistication is a complex term. Like, sophistication is not what I would use. But let me describe it in another way. Like, criminals, they are doing this to get money. They do not care about their code. They care about the money.
We call Nation-state actors.
Nation-state actors, they do it because they want the information. They don't care about the code. But red teamers, pen testers, whenever they deploy something, it's a labor of love. Like, it uses the most recent, the best anti-detection mechanism, the most sophisticated persistence mechanisms, WMI, like all the shit. Do all the shit. But the one thing they can't do is be really effective at stopping static analysis. Like, I can, like, in terms of static analysis, I go through your tools like butter.
Yeah, but I think there's a big difference between what most red teams use and what, like, dedicated red teams use.
Absolutely. And that's what I pick up on. I mean, I'm a reverse engineer, right? I'm not a detection engineer. So I have the luxury of somebody handing me the binary. I don't have to think about how to detect it. That's a different thing.
Yeah, because like, one of my major issues is that a lot of the pentest tooling is just sort of made by a bunch of like, not really developers, let's say. And you're like stuck with all these scripts, and nobody really has the time or the money to make one big.
I can tell you and many other many other red teamers, many other red teaming companies who do what you do think the same way, and they all do the same thing. They build their own tooling, and it is a labor of love. They always put their back into it, and you can tell. And it's always fun to look at those, but it's also always very clear that it's red teaming.
Yeah, we're live, Draco. Yeah. Also, everyone who just joined the chat, just one question at a time. So just mute yourself, and then when it's time to jump in, you can jump in, unless you want to 1v1 this malware developer. And if Florian Roth joins, I'm sure he's going to have lots to say about this malware developer.
I
But otherwise,
I thought the same thing.
Maybe Draconia representing
him if he wants
Florian.
to join.
Yeah, you should do that. Yeah, ask him if he wants to join and 1v1 this malware developer.
Yeah, I don't develop that much on it, but
I'm kidding.
A little
I don't
bit.
think he wants to.